Welcome back to the Estate of Mind's Property Podcast, where opinions are sassier than your auntie after a bottle of Prosecco. And today we're pulling back the curtain of life on the baby-faced real estate agents, and these people are here today to show us what it's like to spend your first year in real estate. So we're excited to have on the couch today Rez from Ray White and also Theo from Ray White Commercial. So thank you guys for joining me today with the Estate of Minds podcast, and welcome to the pod.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Remember, if you're easily offended, well, clearly you haven't been in the vendor meeting recently. So we're really thrilled because we get asked a lot at Balladum about what is it really like to be your first year in real estate. And a lot of our students particularly are very, very, I suppose, nervous, anxious to see what that is like. So we thought today we'd get the opinions from people who are living it and breathing it and experiencing it, though. So thanks today for joining us. And I want to start off with the first question being, you're at Ray White. So why choose Ray White as your brand to represent you in your first year of real estate?
I would say it's got the best technology. When you're thinking about your clients and what you want to provide as the experience and service, Ray White by far have the best technology out there to make sure you're getting it done quick, you're getting it done efficiently and at a low cost. Now,
we're not promoting Ray White as a brand, ladies and gentlemen, so just rest assured here, it just happens to be today that our two newbies are from Ray White, but that's excellent to know. And Theo, why did you choose Ray White as a brand yourself?
I chose Ray White purely because it's got that strong market presence. And when people think of Ray White, they think of expert knowledge, efficiency, and also getting the best result for both the clients.
Let's kick off with another question here. And I suppose it's a bit of a classic one, because if your first year in real estate was a reality show, what would that be called, do you think, Theo?
Mine would be, that is a tough one. I'd go probably DMs, deals, well, something like that.
And something cheesy. Rez, what would yours be?
I'd probably go with learning every day.
Learning every day?
Yeah, take it in by step and that's it.
Do you want to hear mine?
Go for it.
Let's hear it.
The amazing chase. Chasing gigs, chasing listings, and chasing your last shred of sanity. So there you go. Another one, and be honest, did you come here thinking that you'd be driving a BMW in 6 months' time being in real estate, Rex?
No, not at all.
How was your first 6 months?
First six months were mainly about getting to know the skill, what you're actually doing. And I think even sitting here today, 1 year in, I'd say I've got still a lot more to learn.
Were you crapping yourself in your first 6 hours on the job? Or?
Oh, 100%. But I think the team around you, that's what gets you through from 6 months to a year to 5 years.
Right.
They support you and they let you know, hey, it's normal. Just keep going.
Right. Okay. So how was your first kind of few weeks at Ray White when you first started, Theo?
My first few weeks, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit intimidated.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge market. There's a lot of competition out there, and everything is really fast-paced.
Okay.
There's no room for rest.
Did you get that induction, though, when you first started? Like, you know, a lot of times you hear these horror stories in the industry about fly, be free, and then see you later in 6 months' time, and then all of a sudden people are going, I hate real estate. Did you feel like that, Theo?
Actually, not at all. The team is very supported, as they know it can be a very high turnover job. But if you got the right team and the right guidance, you'll make it through.
It sounds like both of you have had a really, really productive and supportive start to the industry.
For sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What surprised you most of you in that time frame, though? Did you kind of like have an oh hell moment, or?
The amount of training that we had to do, I thought, you know, selling real estate's going to be just sit there, do the calls, get the deal done.
Yeah.
Little did I know there's so many little pieces that go into it. And I think that's the thing with Ray White, is that you actually get provided, even through Valid and to Ray White, you get provided with the right training so you know what you're looking for. And that it just keeps going.
So you're always constantly learning, constantly training, really, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. I've got training sessions every week, and that's to better my knowledge, how I do things, and as well experience it.
Is that a Ray White thing, or is it a voluntary thing that you can kind of constantly do?
I think for me personally, it is a voluntary thing as well as a Ray White thing. There's certain things that you sit in because you want to improve what you know,
Yeah.
or some things that you just don't know and you need to stick through.
Now, you're in the resi side of things. Is it the same in the commercial side of things for you, Thea?
Yeah, I was actually very surprised to hear that because at my Ray White, we do weekly trainings just to make sure we're up to date with everything, right? Because people don't realize that the people you call will test you.
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure that you're on top of everything. So pretty much you pass the test.
Mm-hmm. Did you find that it was a test in your first few weeks?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And when we say tests, a lot of people start to sweat and start to convulse and start to go and get the itchy hands. I mean, when you say test, what do you mean by that?
Owners will just make sure that you know what you're talking about and you're not just trying to get an easy deal. They want to make sure that they're in the best hands possible and that also that they can get the best result quickly and hassle-free.
Definitely. What do you think was one of the biggest misconceptions you found, Rez, when you first started your real estate role?
That you'd be earning 6 figures in the first year. I think that's the biggest misconception, was that it was an easy job.
Yeah.
And we do get that actually from a lot of homeowners who think, why would I go with a real estate agent? They only do this, this, this.
Yes.
There's actually so much more into it. And just walking in and being on the right team, having you there for support. I think I've called you 1 million times in my first year. Really, really helpful just having the right people. And Victor, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries at all. Happy to help. But what was the biggest misconception you saw, Thea?
That it's easy.
Yeah, right.
Everyone always says like, oh, real estate, it's such an easy industry. You'll make a lot of money really quickly. But there's a lot of hard work involved.
But the rewards are there if you do work hard, right? 100%. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. I think a lot of people see glamorous TV shows, the $1 million listings and the suits, the Audis, the Beamers, the Mercedes Benzes and the rest of it that goes with it. It is quite glamorous and there's a persona of that. Have you found it as glamorous as you've seen on TV, Rez?
Not as good as it is on TV, but I think it is there though.
Yeah, right.
Work hard enough, you will get there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And tell me, Theo, how did your friends and family react when you said getting into real estate?
They actually weren't surprised. They all thought I was, and they all said I talk like a real estate agent. And they're actually very supportive, surprisingly, of my choice of career.
Okay, that's fantastic. And how about yours, Rez?
Somewhat the complete opposite. I think we didn't have anyone who actually jumped into real estate or did anything of that sort at all in my family. So it was a big shock, but people knew I was I'm a people person. If you get me yapping, I start yapping. That's it. And somehow they came around and they were like, yep, we got it. Like, you can go for it.
Do you have to be a real extroverted, person to be in real estate, do you think?
Not at all. I thought I was an extrovert, but turns out I just was it a lot. But I think you can definitely be an introvert and do things your way. Yeah. I think if you've got the right skill set, people actually are more drawn to that side than it is to someone who just keeps yapping.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that I have to have this brilliant open personality and not be shy, don't they, Theo?
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, if you can relate to someone, that's what builds that relationship.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's very true. I think real estate can be for everybody. I don't think you necessarily have to have a certain personality trait. It does help because some of the personality traits are you're going to work hard, you're going to do a lot of long hours. Yeah. So I think resilience is really important for sure. Yeah. Have you found that, Rez?
Yeah, 100%. You have to be able to pick yourself back up and keep it going.
Yeah.
And be comfortable, be uncomfortable is the thing I lived by during my first years.
I like that.
You've got to know that you're not going to be the best in the first year, but you're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you found that as well, that uncomfortability?
Yeah, for sure. You've got to kind of embrace it to a point because being uncomfortable isn't obviously like a good feeling. Yeah. But as soon as you can embrace that, that's how you know that you've got to go far.
Yeah. What's one thing, as you know, Batlam's a real estate school, so we're a little biased. We think that everyone that's on the course is ready to kind of step into a real estate role, and we like to hope that we are preparing for that ability. But what's one thing you wish you would have been taught, say, when you were doing the course, that you didn't kind of get to experience maybe in real estate?
That's a tough one. I don't think you can teach it, but rejection and understanding that you are going to get a lot of rejection and being prepared for that no and just understanding you're one no closer to a yes. That's it. That's all I would request.
So you're suggesting that maybe we start booking in psychology, appointments in our curriculum possibly?
No. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I think when I stood out from Validum. I found it really, really easy, and it was just more so maturity that I had to alter. And do you find that as well?
Yeah, I was actually going to find that you've got to be really mature in this role, and you've also, yeah, got to learn how to face that rejection, because at the end of the day, like, there's always going to be a no before a yes.
There's certain things we can't teach people. We can't teach people that personality, that organisation, resilience. Obviously, you know, being afforded the luxury of saying, hey, I'm going to get rejected every day. Bring it on, you know. So that's not going to be something that obviously you can teach as well. So you made the good point there, that uncomfortability. You know, I say to people that are entering into the industry, imagine walking every day in shoes that have pebbles in them. And that's what your first few weeks of real estate is going to feel like, for sure.
100%.
And then that does happen. You have to wear a suit every day, I suppose. So. Exception versus reality. You see a lot of TV shows out there at the moment, you know, preaching property, preaching, you know, the glamorous side of it, $1 million listings, luxe listings, you know, you see all the shows. Do you get people come up to you and kind of say, where's your Porsche, Rez?
I have been asked that. I mean, I'm one step closer to a Porsche than they are, but it's just about going in. I think that reality is that you've got to work the hours to get there.
Yeah.
110% in 10 years. I'm driving a Porsche. Porsche taking. That's my goal. But it's the little steps that gets you there. And it's the reality of it.
Yeah, what are you finding the exception to the, you know, the reality versus expectation thing?
The glamorous side of it is definitely there, but the thing that no one touches base on is how hard you have to work to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Because, like, at the end of the day, you can only become better by experiencing it. And the more you experience it, the harder you work.
You both emphasise hard work. But hard work, I've seen people work hard in real estate and still, unfortunately, not succeed. What has to go with hard work?
Accountability and understanding that you need to be above the line rather than under the line. You've got to make sure that you're sitting there constantly and actually reflecting back and seeing, have I actually done the hard work that I'm saying I'm doing to get to where I want to be? And half the time, I tell you now, first 2-3 months, I said I was doing hard work. I was actually not.
Yeah.
I was just lying to myself. And once I flicked switch to be above the line, that's when I started seeing results.
So definition of hard work is ...
I would say accountability.
Yeah, accountability.
I was going to say persistence, but also mentorship. Because you can work hard, but if you're doing the wrong thing over and over, that's not going to pay off.
That's a good piece of advice there, the mentorship, because I think it's very important to align yourself with some really great leaders, people that are doing successful business transactions, real estate transactions. Have you found that in your career so far, Theo? Giving yourself all those mentors is really important.
Yeah, so I've had a couple colleagues of mine that have become really successful. And whenever I'm about to make a couple calls, I ask them to sit in, just so if I mess up on one, they provide me that advice that I might not have caught up.
How scary is it when you hear your own voice?
It's terrifying.
Yeah. I know that feeling just doing these kinds of shows as well. Hearing your own voice back can be quite daunting. Do you find that it's a really good exercise sometimes, Rez, to tape yourself and hear how you sound to the client?
110%. I think you taught me this, and I started taping in the car. Whatever I do, I tape it and listen back, and I'm like, oh, I do not sound confident at all. And a vendor listening to this is not going to actually want to sell with me at all. Yeah. And it's, again, taking that accountability when you're actually listening back to what you've said, adjusting and altering it to be where you want to be.
It's a great little trick. Do you have any kind of laces up your sleeve that you use there?
No, that was my trick, actually. And you taught me that on our first time we met for coffee.
I think it's really important because, you know, how you're perceived, how you're coming across, how you're being relayed, I think is very, very important. And I think that's probably a secret sauce to our industry a little bit. We all are going to be a little biased. We're all going to sound like we think we're unreal. But when you do to yourself, your biggest critic is yourself as well. Have you found that as well? I mean, there's no one out there that's going to tell you exactly what you're thinking. All right. So, Ali, you can do that, yeah? Tell me, what's your biggest oh crap moment in your first month? Go right back to your first month here, guys. I'm getting you into a time capsule. And what was your biggest, like, oh my God, what have I done?
The KPIs.
Yeah.
You've got to start from zero.
So from those that don't know what KPI is, key performance indicators, what does that mean?
It means that you've got to set target to start progressing through the line from being a beginner to what they call in real estate the greens to the yellows. The KPIs adjusted the further along you go down the line to align how many listings you've got to sell, as well as keeping that up.
Yeah.
For me personally, when I started off, it was, sit there, you've got to make these many calls and have these many good connections to get to the appraisals.
Yes.
It was my oh crap moment by far. I got tired of it a little bit.
When you say an oh crap moment there with the KPI, I mean, how many calls were you expected to make every day?
Look, my first month, I was hitting anywhere between 150 calls to 200. And based in units and working with investors, it was desktop appraisals. So we were getting anywhere between 15 to 20 desktop appraisals.
Right.
And sitting down at the end of the night to actually generate them and send the emails out, altering it to make it sure it's personal, it was my oh crap moment.
That's a lot of calls. You're making 700 to 800, 900 calls a week.
That was what I set for myself.
Right.
But it's part of my career.
Yeah.
And I think I had this conversation with you earlier on as well, saying that, I'm getting tired, and all you told me was to adjust it and have the quality as well as the quantity.
Yeah. Have you found that too? Do you have to make a lot of calls per week yourself, Theo?
We do, but at the same time, I also put a high expectation on myself. So I try and do around 40 quality calls a day.
Yep.
Obviously, you can't always guarantee that. But if you don't hit it, like we talked about before, you got to take that accountability and how can you improve on that.
When you say 40 calls a day, how many calls would you have to have made to get those 40 quality calls?
Probably 60.
Yep.
I've had a pretty high success rate, luckily. But for sure, like if you're wanting to get 40 quality connections, like you'd probably be aiming for like 80.
And those calls take time too. You're talking, you probably would do 5-10 minutes of calls. So you say, technically you're on the phone, 4 or 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Would you say 4 or 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Res?
I don't know about Resi, but we're on it when you can, as much as you can, from anywhere between that 8:30 mark all the way down to the 5-6. Make sure you hit your KPIs. I want to switch the commercial now.
When we talk about KPIs, a lot of people get quite daunted by that, obviously. And we're not just talking about the calls that you make. How many appraisals are you expected to do? How many listings are you expected to get per month? Is that something that you also calculate within the KPIs there, Theo?
Yeah, for sure. So we're expected to get around 5 appraisals a week. Well, I try and get a solid 10, and then I try and have a 25% conversion rate of those into listings.
Okay, so out of that 5, you're expected to at least get 1.
Pretty much, yeah.
As a listing.
Yeah.
So you're expected per week to get 1 and every month 4 listings.
On a good month, yeah.
Okay. And that's the KPI they've set for you, or is that yours?
I had a one-on-one chat with my principal about that, but we thought that was an achievable way of doing it.
And how about you, Rez? What are some of the KPIs you've set with your agency?
Look, at this point in time, I've got 50. So anywhere between 45 to 50 appraisals a month. And you should be able to turn that around to 2-3 listings.
Yeah.
I will say for the first year, looking at the KPIs are really, really scary because you're not there yet.
Yeah.
Not there yet. However, I am telling you now, anything I put in the first year, they're actually coming back to me this year. And they're selling now. So I think KPIs are really, really daunting, but always keep it going because last year's call is going to be this year's sale.
Were you able to sit down with your principals and your leaders and talk about what that KPI will look like? Was it a negotiable thing? Because a lot of times we get asked from students, these are the expectations. But they are negotiable, obviously, aren't they, dare I say?
110%. I think my KPIs fluctuate every now and then depending on how well my calls are going or how well my data's prepared.
Right.
It's something that I have that conversation with my principal every fortnight. And we go through and say, okay, you've done this many calls and this many connects and this many appraisals. Do we need to increase it or decrease it and match what you want to make for the year?
Right.
Again, that accountability plays a lot in it as well. It's just about working with the right people to make sure you're getting to where you want to be.
Okay.
And it's always fluctuating. Like you want to be set, but there's 1 month where you do extremely well and the next month you have lower numbers.
Okay.
It's not really scary. You just work through it, in my opinion.
You were nodding your head a lot when she was talking about that then. Have you found that experience the same as well?
Yeah, for sure. So my principal actually sat down with each one of us. And obviously the guys with more experience have a bigger KPI. And for the fresh starters, he likes to ease us into it to make us feel comfortable. because he wants us to come to work to feel comfortable, because then that's when we work our best.
Attainable KPIs make sense, right? You're sure. And then you want that confidence too, because you want to be hitting these goals so you can strive and move forward, right? So, and I mentioned there, are they negotiable? Were you able to sit down with your boss and say, after a month or 2 or 3, this is what I'm capable of, this is what's happening? Did you look at the data? Did you track the data?
110%. I think you actually get to see your conversion rates, and I believe in conversion rates a lot, because I could be speaking to less amount of people and converting them through to an appraisal than I would hitting the connections but not getting the appraisals. And that's all just my principal speaking and letting me know, hey, okay, you do really good at this, let's set this so you can hit this.
Do you talk a little about data with your principal?
For sure. Yep. So we track like the amount of calls and how many people pick up. And then how many of those people we actually have a quality conversation with. Because if we don't have a conversation, yes, that's not a quality call.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. And on average, how long are your calls?
Mine range from probably, for people in a rush, around 5 minutes. But I've had 40-minute conversations with one person just about the market and everything.
Fantastic. And yourself, Rez?
Same there as well. We're looking around anywhere between 5 to an hour even, if they're really giving you the details about neighborhoods or streets or whatever. It really depends on the person.
We talked a little bit earlier in the pod about psychology and the resilience, accountability. Tell us a little bit about how you prepared emotionally and for the job of real estate, because it is quite a taxing role, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah. Tell us how you cope with that.
I did a bit of a unnormal way, I would say. I would, before I started, actually go to like shopping centers and just ask some random questions to get faced with that rejection and almost that weirdness of why would you even ask that? Because then when you become comfortable with that, over the phone they can't see you, so you're going to be unstoppable.
How did you find that drill? Because I actually use a drill very similar to that. I make students go into McDonald's and they've got an imaginary friend. And just to see the reaction, and that weirdness, as you said, that awkwardness that's created as a result of that, because they're kind of looking over the counter going, well, who is this person? Where is he? Yes. And seeing the reaction of people and seeing how that awkwardness unfolds. Has that been helpful for you?
Oh, for sure. Because like once you get used to people that see that, when they actually see your face over the phone, when they can't see you do anything, like, you just, it feels good, believe it or not.
How have you found that emotional role for you?
Same thing. I think from a younger age, when I was in high school, I'd just do whatever. I wouldn't really care. And then that's not really good to say. I'm not condoning anything bad, but I used to do things, not condoning it, but I used to do things that I wanted to do out of interest, and I really didn't care what anybody would say. And I think that's what helped me in real estate. Yeah. I grew up with 4 brothers. I think that says it all. I think, say no more. That 4 brothers pretty much prepares you the best it can. So if you've got 4 brothers, get into real estate, codes.
You both mentioned we see accountability. We heard that a lot. Rejection was another one that's come out today. Let's talk about that. How do you deal with rejection, Rez?
I just smile at it. It doesn't really hurt you. Yes. Especially when you lose a listing to someone that you've been looking after. But you can only wish them well and keep it going. I mean, out of spite, not really spite, but I'd just go and get something on the street or get something in the building and then prove them wrong. And then I have sent out orchids to anyone who's never gone with me, but sold at a really low price when I gave them a high price. So orchids, and just keep going. Yeah. Your net up standard 1 no is closer to a yes. That's it.
Orchids, is there something simple about the orchid there?
I think it's for, someone told me an orchid's for something, when someone loses something, like, sorry for your loss. And you'd actually get the cards and you say, sorry for your loss, and then you'd watch the text message come in and say, thank you for your orchid. So we'll definitely keep you in mind when we sell out of properties.
It's kind of sinister, isn't it?
After your resi thing.
I'm glad you're sitting. I'm scared. Theo, how have you handled rejection?
I always reflect on why they rejected me, and also how could I have done anything differently to that. Obviously, I've lost a couple of listings in my short career as of now, and it does hurt, and it does hurt the ego, but as Rez said before, it's 1 no is closer to a yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose a lot of people that I speak to about success tell me you've got to fail quite a lot before you can appreciate success as well. Are you finding that as your career progresses?
110%. I think if I never fell or never got rejected, I would not be where I am today, because every rejection made me go back, reflect, look into what I'm missing and what I can do better to only come back and do better. And I don't mean go awkward to, just send out an orchid and call it a day. Actually reflect and keep going forward, because I think, Theo, can you tell me are you the same person you were when you first started real estate?
Absolutely not. No.
No. Okay. That's interesting. And you said absolutely no. What's changed?
I used to just be scared of a no, but at the same time, like, I use that now as a opportunity to reflect on why did I mess up? Did I say something wrong? Did I not do the correct preparedness? Sorry.
Yeah. Rejection comes down also to, I think personally, when you are getting a lot of rejections, you've got to really kind of be introspective and look at, what am I saying? What are my scripts? Hearing what I'm interpreting, or hearing how I'm interpreted, and so forth. And hence the role there of taping yourself and hearing yourself back. But also more important there, script development's really important in real estate. Have you found that your scripts change from day one now to day 190?
For sure. I was very robotic when I first started, but then I had to realize that they're a human on the other side of the phone, and talking to them like a human has had a higher conversion rate than anything else.
Absolutely. Do you use a lot of scripts in your role?
When I first started, I did use a lot of scripts. Now it's more so just a touch point.
Yeah, right.
I write down, especially when it's the first conversation, I note down how many conversations I've had,
right,
and to note what they're interested in.
Yes.
Starting off as a relationship type of call, instead of going full force with, are you interested in selling? And rather than just asking, have you seen this sell? What were your thoughts? And starting it from the bottom to up for them to keep going with you and actually choose you out of not loyalty, but out of respect, the fact that you've walked them through 10 different calls.
Yes, absolutely. Talk about rejection, you talk about psychology, you talk about scripts. Let's talk about databases. Do you guys swear by your database? Is that how it works? We've got to build a good database. I always hear this all the time from people. Got to have a good database, Rez. Do you believe that is the deal?
Controversial, but 110% I believe in database. I think I consider my database people I've actually talked to, not necessarily people when you get through to.
Right.
So they're the ones who are actually going to be interested in waiting for your next call. I have something called Res Quarterly Updates.
Okay.
I ask you for permission. Hey, is it okay if I touch base with you in a quarter and we can talk about what's sold and have a laugh about what hasn't sold or still on the market? And they go, yeah. And next time I pick the phone, hey, it's Res. Just thought I'd touch base. Res Quarterly Update calls. How you doing? Ha, ha, ha. And build it off there.
Cool.
They're the people who look foolish to it.
Love it. Theo?
I should do the same. I ask, can I touch base every 3 months?
Okay.
And whenever I actually call them...
You have to ask permission to be touched.
Of course, yeah. And when I do call them the next time, they're like, hey, Theo, how you going? So they've actually saved my contact, and it's not like, oh, who is this?
Yeah.
Oh, did we speak 3 months ago?
Yeah, right. Tell me something that you wish you were warned about before you started in real estate.
You can't keep up with your closet. I'll say to that. It's again, that... And
by the way, you look sensational today.
I didn't look like this a year ago.
And I mean, it's not, you're even looking better than Theo. I mean, that's pretty hard, because he takes at least 2 hours to get ready every morning.
It's true. But no, on serious note as well, something that I wish I was told was the question.
Right.
Is probably, you just got to keep going. No one's gonna, you hear all these stories about people making it in their first 3 months, but building that momentum, actually keeping the momentum is much harder. I wish I knew the fact that once you get into a rhythm, you got to stick to the rhythm. Yeah. You got to commit to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of wish someone told me that, but it's fine because I learned it myself and now I stick by it and I live by it now.
Yeah. How about yourself, Theo?
I wish someone told me that no one actually cares. So like in the office, I used to be nervous to make a call in front of someone else because I was like, I'm scared of being judged.
Yes.
But they don't actually care. They actually want the best for you.
Yeah, right.
And now I sit at my desk, call in front of my mates, and they'll actually tell me what I did wrong or that was a really good call. Yeah. So if you are working with colleagues, they actually don't care. They want the best.
Bit brutal, aren't they? The feedback's important, isn't it? The feedback's really, really critical. For sure. You've got to, and I suppose surrounding yourself with those people that are in the same boat too. You're all in the same boat together to some degree, aren't you, Rez?
110%. I think the amount of times I've given people advice and they've given me advice, it's insane because we want to work together. You're part of a team. At the end of the day, you want to see each other succeed.
Absolutely.
And you want to work together.
Let's talk listings. Now, was your first one a dream, a disaster, or was it a dramatic roller coaster? How did you go? Did you celebrate your first listing, your first sales? Like, what did you do?
My first one was a little bit of pain. We ended up having the contract fall and fall and fall.
Wow.
And it was, I think, the best sort of listing to have as your first because you learn so much regarding what you can put in, can't put in, what you need to do. But yeah, it wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. I think it taught me a lot and I still use the techniques today.
Did you take a moment though to kind of that and celebrate?
Look, we ended up getting a building record price and that was when I could sit and I remember my principal sitting to the side of me and I was like, thank God that's over.
How about yourself, Theo?
It started off as a dream. You know, we had the first inspection. They said, yeah, they'll put through an offer. And then we didn't wait, but I kept following them up and then it fell through. But then it turned into a roller coaster where you just have those massive bits of inquiry and then they don't do anything. Yeah. But overall, it was really good.
It's hard too, because you've got to be patient, don't you? For sure. You know, and it's really, really, it's almost a fine line. Do I call? Do I not call? Do I give you a day? You know, please take up, please answer. You know, it's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? For sure. Yeah. Now, I hear a lot from people, do I have to work weekends to be in real estate? How did you handle working on Saturdays?
Oh, this is actually really, really funny because you have to work weekends. I mean, whether or not if you're committed to actually becoming someone better.
But are you on call 24/7? There's another myth out there that you're on call 24/7 and you can forget about your weekends if you're in real estate.
Setting boundaries.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Right.
Well, setting boundaries and respecting people's time. Just the way you don't call like people on Sunday and then respect you for that.
Yes.
I don't even know what I'm saying, but I would just say setting boundaries.
Resi's harder than commercial, right? You know, you guys only work 5 days a week, don't you?
Yeah, we have a weekend.
No.
So the motto here is, if you're going to get into real estate, get into commercial real estate. Is that the theme here, Theo?
That's it, of course.
But are you on call Monday to Friday, that 24/7? Are you finding that, you know, that your phone doesn't stop and you can't really... Do you talk about those boundaries that Rez was just talking about? I
think a lot of people forget that everyone's human and no one's going to call you at 2 a.m. and be like, what's the market doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm on my phone probably...
Hope.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'd probably say the latest I've ever done anything was like around 7 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, he gets those 2 a.m. calls, but so we won't go there. But what's the most ridiculous thing that someone's had said to you at either an open home or a presentation or just simply on the phone? Share it with us.
The market's not doing well. I'm not going to purchase this. 5 minutes later, turns up with an offer letter.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's pretty interesting.
It's the best one I've ever had out there. And it's, I think, again, people not necessarily knowing the information and you actually being the expert at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, funniest thing I've ever heard is market's not doing well in the open home. 5 minutes later, you get an email with the offer letter and you're like, what did you do?
Yeah. What did you take in the last 5 minutes?
What happened?
How about you, Theo? What's the most ridiculous thing that you've heard?
It was for a lease listing and I got told I've never had to pay outgoings or body corporate fees before. Right. And I was very surprised and I didn't really know how to answer that.
Okay. Was it a super deal, obviously, that no one's ever had before? Or?
Yeah, I just asked them to elaborate and then they said, I don't think I ever have. And then I just explained what those fees actually were. And then they're like, okay.
Wow. Is it just me, or does everyone suddenly become a property expert where you say it at the dinner table, where you say at a dinner party, I'm in real estate or I'm in property? Have you found that, Rez?
Don't get me started. The unsolicited advice people give me, and you're like, oh, I might sit there and be like, yeah, the market's actually doing really well. You've seen this percent growth. Yeah. And someone at the table might just tell me, I thought it was going down. It is going down. You're lying. And I'd be like, oh, cool. you didn't go to ballot and I actually have the license. I got a license and you're telling me this. No, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Do you find you cop a lot of criticism when you say you're in property? And,
110%. Some people think that we have the easiest high-paying job out there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they don't know how much we're actually putting every day to get to where we are.
I think that's the misconception that we hear a lot about, isn't it? So, and that's where I'm finding that a lot of people seem to think it's A, a lot more glamorous than it is. B, we dress in the morning, and we get $200 haircuts, and we get we buy up European cars and Armani suits, and the rest of it that goes with it. That's a pretty misconception, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Like when I first told my mates, like they were like, "Oh, so you're on $1 million salary?" And I was like, "I wish."
Are you buying the beers tonight, there? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the fact that when you say to people you're in property at a dinner table or at a party or whatever, how's it perceived?
Yeah, like you said, everyone does become a real estate expert. Some of my mates who are studying engineering all of a sudden become property experts when I let them know. And then when they're trying to talk about the market and what they're saying just doesn't really add up.
If I could say to you both, if you could write a one-line ad for your first year real estate, what would it sound like?
Unpredictable.
That's one word.
Oh, statement.
A statement. I need a statement here.
I'm so sorry about that. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
How about yourself there?
Mine would be learn fast, fail faster, succeed overall.
Very philosophical there. Mine would be sleep optional, hustle mandatory. Have you found that hustle's important?
For sure. You got to have the hustle. You got to have the hunger.
Define hustle, though. What does hustle look like?
Again, discipline is hustle.
Yeah.
You got to do what you don't want to do. You've got to get up and do what you need to do, not what you want to do.
Right. Has that been a big growth moment for you both?
100%.
Understanding that hustle and what that means and defining, almost restructuring your whole work dynamic, your whole work ethos.
For sure.
Has that been something that has come quite easy for you, Theo?
Not easy. Definitely not. Like sometimes I get into the office and I want to do nothing.
Yeah.
But then I realize I can't.
Yeah.
I treasure real estate. It's a job. The market's always moving. People always, stuff get changed at the drop of the hat.
That's a big advantage to our industry too.
Oh,
Your income's uncapped. You can work as hard as you want to.
Yeah.
And, and if you do, the rewards can be quite significant too.
Yeah.
And it's not like a 9-to-5 job, 30, but you're capped. You get a salary, you're capped. Here we get bonuses, we get salaries, of course, but we also get bonuses and commissions and so forth there. It's really kind of like endless what you could really earn, isn't it?
For sure. Yeah.
Are you finding that too? Was that an attraction for you, Rez, to get into real estate, having that uncapped income?
110%. I used to work at La Vista and I was a manager, and no matter how much harder you worked, you were getting paid the same as someone next to you who was doing bare. And that was the appealing thing to me, was I knew I could put the effort in. Didn't know it was this hard, but I knew I could put the effort in. I knew I could make something out of myself if it meant that there's no cap on my income.
So what's been one of the biggest personal growth moments for you so far, Theo?
One of the biggest personal growth moments I've had is I do take accountability now. Mm-hmm. Before, I'd always try and deflect or say, no, you don't have to do that. And I'd always give myself a day off. Okay. Now it's like, I've got to go in, I've got to make some calls, I've got to get people their appraisals, and I've got to try and convert them over.
Most people laugh when I say RDO or a day off in real estate. It doesn't exist, does it, Rez?
Not at all. I think it never stops. I think even when you sell something, someone gives you a call about it. Hey, how'd you do this? Yeah. And you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going, and you've got to make sure you keep up with the momentum.
Now, I look at this couch and I see two very positive people. Do you get nervous before appointments still?
100%. I just went into a listing presentation last night, nervous as hell. Didn't know if I could do it, and all it took was just one deep breath, sit there, and get into my rhythm, and that was it. And I ended up closing it, all because I trusted the process, and also confidence.
Still get the butterflies there?
Always, but in a good way. You've got to also back yourself. It's always good to be nervous, but not too nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you find though Do you have any tricks, or is there a secret sauce? Because I used to speak very fast when I was nervous, and I used to write on the palm of my hands, stop, pause, because I speak with my hands, right? So looking at my hands, it would kind of be a visual cue for me. Just slow down and pause. Do you do anything like that, Rez?
I probably just sit, take a breath when I know I'm overstimulated.
Yep.
Like I'll start running, and also running. Just take quite a quick jog up the stairs, get your heart puffing, and nothing too like stop and pause, but just trusting the process and knowing that there's a reason why these people call me, and they're trusting me to sit at the table and actually pitch to them.
Nervous energy is important, but I think that if you know you're prepared and you're organised, then that nervous energy always becomes like, it's so happy, I'm happy to be here, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you got to back yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important. So, what's your secret sauce here, Rez? The thing that makes you stand out from the crowd? Are you big in the social media land? Are you kind of doing, podcasts all over Europe, or what's the go?
I don't think my social media is that famous just yet, but the thing I would say sets me aside is a follow-up. And I think my first listing was because I followed up. I asked them a question, gave them the appraisal, followed up.
Yeah, that's a great word, follow up. I love that word.
No one actually does it these days, and it shocks me. And I'm actually in the market to purchase something with my family. And the amount of people who actually don't follow up on a Saturday afternoon, Monday afternoon, and they give you a call on Thursday telling you what you want to do, you tell them, hey, I already went to another 7 other open homes.
Scary, isn't it, really, Theo? Have you found that too? Are you big on the follow-up?
I do, because that does what sets you apart, and also building that relationship. Because I find even following up, they might tell you no, it wasn't right for me. That's okay. Ask for their requirements. So if you do find something and send it to them, they might be like, oh wow, he's still thought of me, even though I didn't say yes to him straight away. Because that's actually what happened to me with one of my listings.
Okay.
This one didn't work, and then I gave them another call when I put another one up. And then that's when they said, oh wow, thanks for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So follow-up is, would you say, one of the most important things?
110%.
Yeah.
You can't be sending something out and expecting the call back because you're not initiating it.
Yeah. When you say follow-up, do you do it email, SMS?
3 ways: text, email, and a call.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? You big on the social media? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of agents now, their secret sauce is, I'm just going to, get out there and become a real estate influencer and do all that kind of stuff. Has that been a significant kind of like plight for yourself as a commercial agent in Ray White Theatre?
Me, actually, no. I just always try to build that relationship, keep it personal. And I take notes on what they actually say to me. So if they mention their kids or grandkids, when I follow up, I'll mention, and how are they going? And that's what sets you apart, because a lot of people, they actually don't care about anything else other than the property.
So you like these little cues down in your CRM and stuff like that?
For sure. I've been told, I'm in New Zealand right now, call me in 3 weeks.
Right.
When I called them back, first thing I said, how was New Zealand?
Yeah, beautiful.
And it sets you apart.
It does, because it gives an automatic, this guy listened. And I think that's how trust develops, right?
For sure.
100%.
Yeah. So what's one moment where you kind of thought, yeah, I belong. Here I am, real estate. I'm here.
I think it was probably my 3rd or 4th sale, and the owners, it was a divorce. And the fact that the owners, both of them, separately thanked me and got me flowers and chocolates. And you're like, I actually did something that mattered so much to these 2 parties. I feel on top of the world. And I was like, this is it for me.
This is it, right? Yeah.
This is it.
And they decided then and there, real estate is my career.
110%. The feeling of being appreciated and what you've done, all those late nights and all those callbacks and the drives up to the city to do open homes, it all played a big part of that one moment being appreciated and acknowledged.
Yeah. How far were you in real estate when you had that moment?
I believe it was like the 6th or 7th month.
Okay.
I don't keep track, unfortunately. Feels like I've been in real estate longer than a year, but it definitely was a setting point where I just sat there and I'm like, holy cannoli.
Yeah.
This is where I belong.
What was that your moment, Theo? Where did you kind of say, I'm loving this?
Well, I was actually in my first month, and
wow.
I gave this guy a call asking if he wanted an appraisal. He said, I'm not going to sell. I'm leaving it for my grandchildren. And then I even said to him, mate, I don't care if you want to sell. I'm happy to do it just so you have the market knowledge. He was like, oh, okay, that'd be great. I sent in the appraisal, and then I get an email back from him saying, thank you very much, Theo. I know you're going to go really far in this industry, not because you're seeking benefits for yourself, but you're just doing the right thing and providing the information that they want.
Isn't that great, though, that you were able to both experience that so early in your real estate career, too, for sure.
100%.
You know, that's getting rarer and rarer.
Yeah.
Are you finding that you're seeing colleagues come and go within your office, too? Let's paint some realities here of the industry because, you know, so far it's been very positive. There's a lot of accountability. Yeah, there's a bit of psychology around it, and it's tough. But what's kept you going?
For me, it's that end goal and knowing what my end goal is. And to your first question, yes, I've seen a lot of people come and go, and it's half the time, you know, they think it's this one big picture and everything's all la la land, you know, lollipops and everything, really, really good. They don't
Washing the latte.
exactly, and they don't expect to come into a place where you actually have to work the hours to get to where you want to be, and end up leaving. And I think it's more so just that uneducation of what real estate is, and that no one's actually told them that it's more discipline than it is motivational. Like, yes, you're motivated to get to where you want to be, but if you're not going to do the discipline, you're not going to get there, and you're going to keep on feeling like you're running around in circles doing nothing.
What's your day start time? When do you start your day?
I start in the car when I get into my car. So anywhere between like 7:15, 7:30, I start calling people who I know I have that relationship, who's in the market to purchase and going to sell after. They're my first call. Hey, Peter, how'd you go over the weekend? Or how'd you go at the property that you said yesterday? Blah, blah, blah. How'd you go? And that's where it starts. And then get into the office, and we've got meetings at 8:30 a.m. every morning. Get into that meeting.
So 7 o'clock, you're kind of kicking things off and you're calling people. What about at night?
Oh, it never ends. I mean, I do calls after I leave the office all the way to when I get home.
So end day time would be approximately, I'm trying to paint the picture here, 7 o'clock to...
Like anywhere between 7 to 8:30.
There you go, guys. 7 o'clock today. That's a 13-hour day.
Yeah, people sit calling you, people you've called in the morning, they call you then. Interstate investors, they finally get home, put the kids to bed, and then can have a chat with you.
Yeah, right.
And I think the latest time I've done an appointment, like a Zoom call one-on-one with somebody, was probably around 9:45, 10 o'clock at night. International investor, and that was the only time they could do it.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Theo? What does your start time kind of look like?
I try to get into the office at around 7:30 and do all the back end stuff. So then by 8:30 to 9, like I'm able to be on that front.
Cool, right? Yeah. And what's your end day kind of look like?
On a quieter day, normally around that 5 o'clock, 5:30. But I've had the latest I've had a call would be that 7:30.
Yeah. So you're still kind of putting in 12-hour days here, just about, right? You know, that tends to be kind of a natural. And you know, Monday to Friday, Saturdays, obviously in your case, Rezo, there.
There you go. I mean, sorry, just thinking back on my end days, sometimes it doesn't end until 12. Yeah, like data mining, especially when you're new and when you want to get into somewhere that you might not necessarily have the data. I sometimes stay up until 1 or 2 just trying to get that done in the system. So in the morning I just go bang, 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 bang. And it's commitment. You know, I watch my Netflix on this side, put my laptop there, start diving away. That's it. Yeah. But Saturdays as well. I think this is... With Ray White, we actually work 8:30 to 5 every single Saturday. It's called a game day because that's when you get the best connections, and when you do your open homes, they're people who are active, so you need to get onto them straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more in another series and another podcast in regards to what it's like to kind of like, you know, follow you. I know with our social media, we're looking at kind of like, you know, following you guys around and seeing what your day would look like and giving you a bit of a backstory there. So that'll tie into what we're talking about today. But look, thank you so much for the insights today. It's been such a pleasure talking to you both and giving us a little bit more of an insight into what it takes to be in the industry. And look, it's a wild ride. It's equal parts hustle, equal parts heartbreak, and I reckon caffeine must be your best friends, I reckon. For sure. So, look, but with some grit, some good mentoring and even better deodorant, I reckon you could survive your first year and maybe even thrive. But to all the rookies out there, keep showing up, keep learning. Your first year is about learning, not earning. And I think until next time, keep your signs up, keep your higher standards rocking, and we'll see you soon on the next pod. Take care. And if you want any details on how to get in touch with Theo and Rez, they'll be in the details below. Look forward to you subscribing to our podcast, The State of Minds. Bye for now.